Make sure you sign up for the newsletter on Female Minority Report at www.femaleminorityreport.com. You can also pre-order your book there as well. It will take you directly to the Amazon link. Tune in.
Hello, world. How you guys doing? Welcome to Featured Entrepreneur Fridays. I am excited today, you guys, because guess what? We have our special guest on, Miss Danielle Meggoe. She is going to give us everything that we need as far as for who she is and what she does. Miss Danielle, are you there?
I am here, and I'm excited to be on your show.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. Listen, one of the things I love doing is I love featuring entrepreneurs because, we're very, very, very underrated. People don't, we don't get the kind of credibility that we should. So, when I saw that, I said, you know what, let me go ahead and pave the way and start giving our entrepreneurs that don't get the credit that they should, give them a spotlight, give them a platform. So I'm excited that you are paving the way. So can you please just tell our listeners who you are and what either business or businesses do you particularly own?
Awesome. Okay, so my name, again, is Danielle Meggoe. I am an entrepreneur. I have several businesses that are going on at one time. I created Sistas Talk organization. You can find out a little bit more about that at www.sistastalk.org. I created it in 2018, and the mission behind that creation is to remove the stigma of counseling in our community. There's so many times that we talk about mental health, and it becomes more of a stigma other than us trying to find ways to promote wellness, find a solution to it. Let's talk about it. Let's get that information out there, especially in the Black community. So that was the push. That was the reason why I created that business. And we went on to do several events in 2019. We started in Houston. And we migrated to Dallas, Texas. We sold out. We did an event that was called Conversation with a Twist, Tools for Dating. And we chose that topic because in Houston, we know that Houston is so big, right? We have millions and millions of people here, one of the many most diverse cities in the nation. And we know how difficult it can be to date. And especially for those people who have been married before and they're going back into that dating pool. Times have changed. Social media and the internet phase is here. People are finding their loved ones online. But we also know that with that success, there comes a lot of failure in dating. So we wanted to create an opportunity for open dialogue for everyone to be able to kind of air out and vent out their emotions, their failures, some ways to find solutions through other people like licensed counselor professionals that we have that are actually guest speakers at these events that can kind of help you understand where you're coming short, to help you find out, is it childhood trauma is the reason why you're not fully developing inside those relationships that you're trying to create with people. And so another business that I have is creating our community enrichment program. That's actually my nonprofit organization. And that nonprofit organization is designed to bridge the gap of, any type of needs that family needs in terms of tutoring for their children, clothes, adult diapers for the senior community shelters that we have. We kind of do it all. And I definitely wanted to create that nonprofit that's my way of giving back to my community.
Absolutely. So, man, I love it.
The latest project, though, that I have, actually, is a book that I just pretty much finished up this month, really. It's set to release September 26th, and it's called Female Minority Report. And that book, it was so many different inspirations that inspired me to even think about writing such a book. I think this is just the time to put it out. And I don't know if you had any questions for me before I get into it.
Oh no! Hey, listen, please get into it. Give us the like they would like to say out in the world. Give us the tea.
Okay, let me give you all the tea, shaken, not stirred. So the reason I wrote this book was to bring more awareness to the microaggressions, the isms, and the stereotypes behind being a woman of color working in corporate America. Let's be real. There's so many issues that women of color, especially African-American women, we have to deal with these issues, these stresses, these tensions every single day that we wake up and we go to work. And although, the story goes, wake up and be the best that you can be, but how can you when you have such an oppressive feel around your environment? How can you grow? It's kind of like the analogy with the shark inside of the tank. A shark will only grow up to the amount of length that tank permits. If you put him in an 8-inch tank, that's as much as he's going to grow. You put him out in the ocean, he can grow up to 8 feet. So the same way goes with the success of a black woman and with any woman of color and any woman or man of color, right? Let's be fair. So the reason why I called my book Female Minority Report is because I am a female and I can only tell it from my perspective. However, we all know, the world knows, the level of stress and tension that are on the backs of people of color in general. And so I think this book is very necessary to address some of the gender wage gaps that we're experiencing that we've always experienced in our lives. Now more than ever, you're seeing more black people opening up their own businesses. So shout out to all the black-owned businesses out there that are doing their thing. So that's the primary reason for really sitting down, writing a book that's not necessarily sad or, as most people would call, aggressive, things of that nature. No. It's really to address the ugly truth about what's been going on in our society. And I think everything's starting to reach a head. If we look in the news, we see all the riots, the protests, the unnecessary murders of our black men from the hands of police officers that are not being tested by the law. The judicial system is not interpreting the law for us fairly, let's be honest. So I think right now is a good time to put this type of material out there. And for those people who are more interested in purchasing or pre-ordering the book, it is available right now on Amazon. And you can go to Facebook and you simply type Female Minority Report, or you can go to my site and purchase the book and learn a little bit more about me as the author at www.femaleminorityreport.com.
Absolutely. See, listen, I hope you guys are taking notes. What I love about the podcast, you can always go back and listen to the replay. But thank you so much, Danielle, for just sharing that information with us. Happiness is important, right? So there are some entrepreneurs who have sacrificed their health, their sanity, and happiness in the pursuit of money, right? The ones who are truly happy, however, are the ones who have found a way to balance all of the various facets of their life. So tell us, are you happy with what you're doing now, and is there anything that you would change differently?
Oh, that's a really good question. And the short answer is I am absolutely happy and I'm free. The long answer to that is when you're in an environment where people still refer to you as girl, all right, that says a lot. I don't know if most people know, but the English term girl originally stood for any child, both of any gender, male or female, and it was later denoted in the 16th century as to imply a female child. And when we think about girl, we don't think about a fully developed woman, do we? And so that within itself is a microaggression, and it's an extreme insult to any woman, a fully developed woman, no matter what race or color she is. And, I just have to say something, that being a female in any workplace, regardless of race or religion or any other thing that you can think of that divides us systematically, it's always going to be somewhat of a struggle. And, because, and the reason why I say that is because there's so many attributes that come along with being a female in today's society. When you think about a woman, you think about her personality, her looks, her behavior, her hygiene, partner roles. We're categorizing people based on gender to determine their qualifications. You think about family, nourishment when you think about women, endurance, patience. I don't know if a lot of men out there in general think about how much patience it really takes to be a woman who has a full-fledged family, that's married, who has children, and then has to deal with her career. I don't think we really truly think about that, And so while I'm not a feminist, I am a realist. And I just want to put this out there into the atmosphere, into the universe, that we have to honor our women more. And men and women, we have to honor our men as well. We have to honor our men as well. We need to remove that jargon of saying, oh, black men don't protect us. Why don't they? I don't know how many people have read the article about the young African-American woman, single parent, by the way, who was being threatened every day she lived in her community. I believe that, I can't remember what area of the state it was here in the U.S., and there was a platoon of black men that were sent out to protect her home each and every night. So we cannot continue this negative connotation with black men saying that they're not protecting us. We have to stick together, right? And all people, for that matter, no matter what race we are, we have to stick together for what is right. That is the primary source of us solving this big issue of any ism that exists, whether it's racism, sexism, any of the isms. That's just my take on it.
Absolutely. No, I'm so, happy that you even expressed upon that, because you're absolutely right on both sides of the playing field. Men and even women, we definitely need to honor our women a lot more. And, for me, Danielle, I love women entrepreneurs, honestly, more than I do the male entrepreneurs, because one, and this is just me, my personal opinion, women entrepreneurs have more of that go-getter mentality. And I'm not saying that there are not any men out there that don't, because, hey, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but, hey, I'm an advocate for understanding what the bride is, right? So, every day I wake up and I hit the pavement running. But I love the female entrepreneur because, you guys just have more of that tenacity-driven mentality. And I think for entrepreneurs like myself, for me, I bleed entrepreneurship. So when I see that, that encourages and inspires me to continue to keep doing more. So that, for the female side, I definitely understand. And then it definitely, for the male side, we definitely need more women to lift up the African-American male, especially if they're dwindling in that entrepreneur space, to have that secondary person to be able to let us know, hey, it's going to be okay when things get down, or when trials and tribulations come up, to have that significant other or that partner to say, don't worry, I got your back. So absolutely, look, I'm raising the flags with you. I'm 100% there. When you first start a business, you're going to make mistakes, and it's really inevitable, right? So the fewer mistakes that you make, though, the better. So tell us, what are some of the mistakes you wish you could have avoided during the course of your journey?
Oh, wow. That's a really good question. Now, for people who are starting their businesses, if you're not ready to fail, you're not ready to own your own business. Let me tell you, let's talk about the nonprofit. When that was created for me, I actually paid someone to do the 501c3. I pretty much just gave them all of my information, and I just left it in their hands to get it all done. And that's something where I just have to tell you guys, if you are going to consider yourself as a founder or CEO or whatever it is, whatever title it is that you're claiming, you have to know your business better than anyone else, because that person can decide to leave and do something else, or they can fail to give you vital information that will literally destroy what you tried to build, what you pour your money, your heart, and soul into. So my failure was I didn't check to see what documents needed to be reinstated, or resent to the IRS, and so therefore I had to reinstate my nonprofit. And so thank God I was able to successfully do that this year, but that's something that I could have avoided. Had I taken out the necessary time, guys, I don't care how busy you are. I know a lot of you guys still have full-time jobs while you're trying to do your business, but you have to invest in yourself. That was my biggest mistake. And I don't mean financially. I mean academically. I mean being studious towards whatever it is that you're passionate about and whatever you're putting your heart and soul into. You have to follow it up with your own study. That's what I would say.
Absolutely. Love it. One of the unfortunate things about having a business-oriented mindset is that, we're creative people, right? So people often call us the jack of all trades, and every day we come up with the new business ideas on how we can go about implementing them as soon as possible. So tell us, how did you know, Danielle, when you had the right idea?
I'll tell you this. When it comes to my main baby, which is Sistas Talk, I was able to develop that whole entire business plan and strategy within maybe 2 weeks. And the reason why is because I have a cousin who's battling cancer right now. And, we went to Las Vegas. I was out there on a business deal, and we were having lunch. And she told me, she said, someone with my illness, she has Hodgkin's lymphoma. She said, I only have maybe 3 to 5 years left. And I said, you can't talk like that. I said, because we're not in control of it, right? We can think that, but we're not in full control. I said, so what it seems like to me that you need is an outlet. Someone that you can talk to, you can vent to. I said, and you never know, your story, if it's heard by many, it could change the lives of so many people. And so that's where Sistas Talk was born. And I feel that it became so easy for me to just do all the necessary things that it takes in order to start a business because I had the passion and the drive, and it was for a purpose. And so although not everybody's visions are set up that way or fall into their lap that way, I think that she definitely inspired me to create a platform that is safe, that will allow especially people of color to feel okay with being vulnerable so that they can open up that doorway for healing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, yeah, that's powerful within itself. This is a good one for you, Danielle. Your friends are going to doubt you, and your family is going to pretty much encourage you to make the safe move, and strangers you've never even met will sit around, basically plotting on your downfall. So tell us, how did you handle adversity and doubt?
Very good question. So I remember when I first started, a lot of people that I worked with at the time were kind of like, how are you going to do all of that, right? I had a lot of friends who just became silent. They didn't question anything. They just kind of fell in the background because they just wanted to see, what is she going to do with this? Is she serious about this? But here's one piece of advice I can give to people who are currently going through this, because I've been there, done that. It's just inevitable, because here's the thing. People are used to seeing you in a certain space in life, right? So if you've always been that person who hung out, had drinks with them, that's how they perceive you. That's the category that they place you in, not intentionally, but it's kind of a natural occurrence because that's the capacity in which they saw you every time they saw you. And then you have other friends who maybe you only work with them, so they don't really know the real you. They don't know your real potential. They don't know what motivates you, what drives you. They know the professional you. And then you have your family who feels that they've known you all your life. And so while that's so, they don't know who you've developed and grew into your adulthood. So I would say not to take it personally, even though, yes, it is a personal attack on you, but it's not an intentional personal attack. That feeling that they're having towards you, or maybe that lack of support, just comes from the unknown. They're not really sure if you know what you say you're going to do, are you really going to fall through? So you just simply have to make them believers. And when you do, and how to do that is, it comes with consistency. It comes with passion. Yeah. It comes with becoming studious about your work. No one's going to show you, unless you have an outstanding mentor, right? No one's going to show you how to get your business done. You have to figure that out. That's what makes you a boss.
Yeah. Absolutely. Guys, you guys already know, for all of my listeners, entrepreneurship is about being able to face failure, manage failure, and succeed after failing. So you definitely, cannot allow, I like to call the distractions. And one of my solutions, Danielle, that I tell all of my mentees and everybody that follows me is that you have to starve your distractions to feed your focus. And that's something that you guys got to get into that rhythm. They're going to come. I don't care what kind of rhythm you get into, how good your business is, if you're just starting out, if you've been in for 5 or 6 years. Adversity and doubt is going to always have a place to knock on the door and say, hey, I'm here. Hey, you want to entertain me? You want to acknowledge me? You want to feed me energy so I can grow and make your business, raggedy, so to speak. So, Danielle, a lot of people need leadership right now. I've been asked this question a lot, and I'm definitely going to piggyback off whatever your answer is to this. But we know that you need to learn some good leadership skills to keep, individuals motivated and hustling. And just as hard as, we are as entrepreneurs on ourselves, we still have to maintain and carry that leadership tenacity. Leadership skills are among the best things that you can learn from a fellow entrepreneur, a mentor, especially if they've been there before. So what would you tell our listeners now? How can you be, or how can they become a good leader?
Great question. I believe in order to do that, you first have to address what you said earlier. You have to acknowledge the fact that you're going to fail. And failure, what you should gain from that is you should learn from the experiences, and you should know what not to do, the next time. Also, having that drive to never give up. I don't care how many times you fall, you have to pick yourself back up, and you have to re-strategize. and find ways to get yourself out of the rut you found yourself in, because we've all been there. I think the biggest thing when it comes to leadership is not being afraid to share information. To me, that's one of the greatest aspects of being a leader. I think a lot of us in the past especially have risen to a place where we feel like we're successful, we feel like we don't need anyone, and we feel like in order for you to get this information, you're going to have to pay top-notch dollar because that's what status I'm at. I just want to say that being a leader, it involves being humble, you know, and when we have that sense of humility and we're not afraid or we're not arrogant to the point where we feel that we can't release that information, that to me is true leadership. When we're not afraid to share what advice we have for others, because if you are really good at what you do, there should be no fear in you sharing the information that you've learned. And I'm not telling you to give it all away, right? But what I'm saying is put a drop back into that bucket, because someone helped you, whether you acknowledge that or not, help you get to where you are today.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and just to piggyback off that, you know, for those that know how I am and who I am, you know, before you are a leader, success is all about growing yourself. So when you become a leader, success is all about growing others, right? So for me, you know, a leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and then turns around and shows the way. So I definitely, you know, recommend, you know, I stand behind everything that you pretty much just said. So, you know, Danielle, I just want to say thank you so much for giving us your time, giving us a piece of you, letting us come into your world and see what you're doing for the entrepreneur space. So I definitely commend you for taking up the vision that God has given you to be able to lead the people. So could you do us a favor and just tell everybody how could they stay in contact with this amazing Danielle? Can you just give everybody how to get in contact with you? Go ahead and go over the websites again. How can they pre-order the book? Just give us all of the information that we need to make sure that we stay connected with you.
Absolutely. So you guys can get your pre-orders. They are available now on Amazon at www.femaleminorityreport.com. To learn a little bit more about me, understand my aim at writing this book, share your ideas. You can email me also at fminorityr@gmail.com. Also, if you want to know a little bit more about Sistas Talk, if you want to be a guest on our show or just want to browse around and check us out, go to sistastalk.org, or you can send an email also at sistascwt@gmail.com.
Absolutely. Danielle, thank you yet once again. Listen, you guys already know how I eat. My passion, make your passion your paycheck. Listen, this particular podcast was brought to you by Bubbly Sparkling Water. Make sure that you guys go get you a case. Right now I am sipping on the cherry flavor. But listen, Danielle, we just want to say thank you again for giving us your time. We appreciate you tremendously so much. Are there any last words that you want to give to our listeners before we get ready to exit off?
I just want to say to everyone that's listening, never give up on your dreams. I know this has been a hard year for so many people, but it's up to you to make your own dreams come true. If you find yourself wanting to be a leader in some capacity, don't be afraid to give back. Always lift a hand for the person that, when you're ahead, make sure you look back and you bring someone up with you. That's the strategy we should live by from this day moving forward. I want to thank you so much, Dr. Pitts, for having me on the show today. It was a complete honor, and I look forward to hearing more segments from your show.
Absolutely. And to that, you guys, allow me to leave you with the quote: the best way to predict the future is to create it. My name is Dr. Casual Pitts, and I'll see you guys on next week's Featured Entrepreneur Friday.
Hey, this is Jill from the Container Store.
Oh.
Is there something wrong?
I just thought a virtual designer would be a cool robot.
I could do a robot voice if that helps.
Maybe?
Hi, I am Jill. Let's design.
Nope, absolutely not. Regular voice, thank you.
Yeah, I'm not good at impressions.
Enjoy free virtual in-home closet design and up to 25% off closet systems with the Container Store's custom closet sale. The Container Store, where space comes from.
What makes a business a business? It's not the circumstances of a world that woke up on the wrong side of the bed that year, that decade. It's the everyday entrepreneur ready to put themselves out there. We're all sailing against the wind right now, but we will make it to shore. It's been done before, and we will do it again.
To help you get started, we're offering websites, marketing tools, and guidance all for free. Learn more at GoDaddy.com.